Right now, you're likely reviewing your year and realizing that you didn't hit many of the goals you've set. To avoid running into the same issue next year, I'm going to give you the tools to set clear, actionable goals for 2024 using what's called the SMART method. Welcome back to Savvy Psychologist. I'm your host, Dr. Monica Johnson. Every week on this show, I'll help you face life's challenges with evidence-based approaches, a sympathetic ear, and zero judgment. For many of us, the end of the year is a period of time where we beat ourselves up for the things that did or didn't happen throughout the year. The gym membership we never used, or the breakup that we aren't over. When working with patients in my office, now is the time when we get intentional about what we want the next year to look like for us. Something I tell my patients all the time is if you haven't done the prep work for your goals, you'll blink and it'll be June and you haven't even gotten started yet. I would encourage all of you to think about what you'd like to see within yourself or in your environment for the next year, and start getting the elements together that will allow you to start the new year on the right footing. Don't wallow in spilt milk. Focus on getting a new cow. One of the simplest things you can do is implement SMART goals. Setting goals is a fundamental aspect of personal and professional development, and the concept of SMART goals is a widely recognized framework for effective goal setting. SMART is an acronym that stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. This framework provides a structured approach to defining and pursuing objectives, ensuring clarity, motivation, and accountability. In this brief overview, we will delve into each component of SMART goals and provide numerous examples to illustrate their practical application. Specificity is the first key element of SMART goals. A specific goal is clear and well-defined, leaving no room for ambiguity. When setting specific goals, you should answer the following questions. What exactly do you want to accomplish? Why is it important? Who is involved? Where will it happen? What are the constraints or requirements? Example 1 is an example of a vague goal. I want to get in shape. Example number 2 is an actual example of a specific goal and the way that we want to think about them using the SMART method. I want to lose 15 pounds by running for 30 minutes, 5 days a week, and following a balanced diet for the next 6 months to improve my overall health and fitness. In the second example, the goal is specific because it outlines the target weight, the method to accomplish the goal, the frequency, and the time frame. M is for measurable. Measurability is crucial for tracking progress and determining when a goal has been successfully achieved. Measurable goals allow you to quantify your objectives and answer questions like, how much progress do you aim to make? How will you know when you have reached your goal? Here's an example of a non-measurable goal. I want to communicate more with my family. Now, here's an example of a measurable goal. I want to call my mother once per week and have at least a 15-minute conversation with her. In the example, you went from a vague measure of more, which doesn't actually mean anything without context, to setting an interval and time frame and specifying the person you want to increase contact with. A is for achievable. An achievable goal is one that is realistic and attainable given your resources, skills, and constraints. Setting overly ambitious goals can lead to frustration and discouragement. It's important to strike a balance between setting challenging goals and ensuring they are within your reach. Unachievable goal. I want to become a billionaire within a year, starting with no capital. Achievable goal. I want to save $5,000 in the next 12 months by reducing unnecessary expenses and increasing my monthly savings. In this example, the goal is achievable because it sets a realistic savings target within a reasonable time frame, considering the individual's financial situation. R is for relevant. Relevance refers to the alignment of your goals within your broader objectives and values. A relevant goal should have significance and contribute to your personal values. Here's an example of an irrelevant goal. I want to become a professional content creator while pursuing a career in accounting. Now here's an example of a relevant goal. I want to complete a certification in financial accounting within the next 6 months to advance my career in accounting. In this example, the goal is relevant because it directly relates to the individual's career in accounting, aligning with their broader professional aspirations. Whereas in the other example, you would likely have a divided focus, which leads to confusion, and likely you not accomplishing either of those goals. I talk to people almost daily who have conflicting interests, goals, and/or values, and they are often bewildered about why they feel so stuck and exhausted. Many times, this is because of a lack of focus and trying to do too many things at once or things that are pulling them in opposite directions. T is for time-bound. Time-bound goals have a specific deadline or time frame for completion. Setting a time constraint provides a sense of urgency and helps prevent procrastination. It also allows for progress monitoring and adjustment of strategies if necessary. Here's an example of an open-ended goal. I want to learn a new language. Now here's an example of a time-bound goal. I want to achieve conversational fluency in Spanish within 1 year by taking weekly lessons and practicing for at least 30 minutes every day. In this example, the goal is time-bound because it specifies a clear deadline of 1 year for achieving conversational fluency in Spanish, along with a plan for regular practice. Setting deadlines for yourself is so important. There is a concept in research called the intention gap. It refers to the phenomenon where individuals have the intention or desire to engage in a particular behavior or take a specific action, but they fail to follow through with that intention. In other words, there is a disconnect between what people intend to do and what they actually do. Using a strategy like setting SMART goals and specifically deadlines will often help folks with the intention gap. SMART goals are a powerful framework for effective goal setting that can be applied in various areas of life, from personal development to career advancement. By making goals specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound, individuals can enhance their clarity, motivation, and accountability in pursuit of their objectives. And to be clear, if you're already a productivity maven, these SMART goals can be around things that we would consider to be leisure. For instance, one of my SMART goals for this year focused on creating more time for me to engage in hobbies, and I was able to complete that. Take some time to think about what your goals are and write down some associated SMART goals and start prepping to have a meaningful year. As per usual, I'm really curious about what SMART goals you're going to implement in your life in the upcoming year. Who knows? Maybe we have some similar goals. You can contact me via Instagram at KindMindPsych, via my email at psychologist@quickanddirtytips.com, or leave a voicemail at 929-256-2191. The Savvy Psychologist is a Quick and Dirty Tips podcast. It's audio engineered by Steve Rickyberg, with script editing by Brandon Gitchis. Our podcast and advertising operations specialist is Morgan Christensen, our digital operations specialist is Holly Hutchings, and our marketing and publicity associate is Davina Tomlin. Follow Savvy Psychologist on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. That's all for this episode of Savvy Psychologist. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next week.